Have you ever wondered what it would feel like doing good for the world? Have you ever wondered how that could be done in a sustainable manner? Emprogage is doing both of those things, using the core values of empathy, proactivity, and engagement. If you want to find out more, or if you want to join us in making the world a better place, go to emprogage.sc and let's co-create a better world.
It was said about Edgar Davids, a famous soccer player in the beginning of 2000s, that he never lost a game. He just ran out of time. He would keep working and keep running until the clock stopped, until the referee blew the match off. Good morning, this is Caspian with a riff on giving up. I'm not a big fan of giving up. As a matter of fact, I try not to do it at all. But I've found more and more that at times we do have to give up or give in to not work for it anymore. One of my strongest convictions is that I don't get sick. I never get sick. And I've told myself that so many times that I think it's become true. Yet again, once in a while, I get sick. And when I do, when I really get sick, I've become a lot better at giving in and giving up of my conviction. Because what it does for me to say that I don't get sick is that I don't give in too early. I don't give in to every little feverish feeling in my body. I don't give in to the little sniff in the morning. And I don't give in if I have a little bit of pain in my knee in the morning. Because I don't get sick. The sniffles couldn't possibly be a cold because I don't get sick. But when I do get sick, I really get beaten down by sickness, I think it's important for me to give up. And I had to do that this week. Just giving in, surrendering, saying, I'm sick. What giving up does for me in that case is that it gives me an opportunity to go on while I can, but also to rest when I need to. And when I actually get sick, and when I say I get sick, I can actually allow myself to just lay in bed and recover. I talked a bit about this with my little brother, because he is also sick at the moment, but he won't admit it. He's as stubborn as I usually am, and as I was in his age. And I told him about all the side effects that can come from not giving in, from not giving up. My ex-girlfriend's little brother, for example, had a heart attack because he didn't give in to sickness. He had a cold, he went to the gym, and his heart didn't like it. At that time, when we're sick, when we have a cold, we might need to give in. But we also need to remember that we don't always have to give up. As I said, I don't get sick. I will not give up that conviction, even though I've been in bed for 3 days. There's a fine line between grit and fool-headed stubbornness. There are loads of people who say that they have grit, who in fact just go on without their head with them, that just keep going because they've kept going and that they've told themselves that they keep going. In the case of sickness, it'll become quite obvious because you can't muster the energy needed from you physically if you keep going. But in other cases, there might be tons of signals that aren't as obvious as in sickness. For example, you might be running a business, a startup, and you'll keep going, you'll keep pushing, you'll keep working, you'll work harder and harder and harder. But the case might be that you're not built for entrepreneurship. The case might be that you're not built for running a clothes store. Your calling might be to work with clay, or to work in an office with administrative work. If you're stubborn, you won't hear the signals. If you keep telling yourself, I don't get sick, if you keep telling yourself, I'm running this business and I'm going to continue running this business, you can continue to do so until you go out of business. The fine line between grit and stubbornness is really hard to find, and it's impossible to have a general rule for where it is, for how hard you should push, and for when you should rest and give up. What I can say is that you most often have a feeling in you when it's only stubbornness. And that feeling will only be apparent if you stop and take a breath and really just feel your body. Just as with a cold. You'll only feel you're having a cold or there's a cold coming if you really stop and feel for it. So what I want you to do is I want you to examine whatever situation you're in. If it's work, if it's your business, if it's the side project you're running, if it's your actual body feeling you're coming onto a cold. I want you to stop and I want you to feel within yourself, to examine and to ask yourself the question, is this grit or am I being stubborn? For me, stubbornness is a quite childish behavior, and believe me, I am stubborn. You can ask my mom and she'll tell you I'm the most stubborn person in the world, apart from possibly my little brother. The reason for me not to want to be stubborn is because I don't think it gives me anything. I don't benefit from being stubborn. I benefit from grit. I benefit from persevering and pushing through as long as it's worth it. So the feeling you're looking for while examining yourself is just that. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to me? Is it worth it to my surrounding? Is it worth it to the world? Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you have any questions, please send them my way. And if you gained anything from listening to this, please send it to a friend. I would be very happy if you did so. Until next time, take care.